Well, talking about television nowadays, it's really a bit of a mixed bag because, well, first of all, how can we define television? Is it really a source of keeping people informed of their daily life, or it's just a flow of entertaining shows and so-called shows on the sofa? Well, it is essential for us to decide whether it is a blessing or a curse. In Russia, we have not so many state channels, the main idea of which is, well, you know, state channels like the first channel, the second channel, uh, generally speaking, they're broadcasting to report the main state news. But what do we have in fact? Well, in fact, I mean, most of the time the news is not updated, and it's better to scroll for some information on the net, basically, to put it plainly. But I'm sorry, I'm being a bit negative about television in Russia. Well, I think it's largely due to the fact that such channels, well, the level of control of such channels is very high. I mean, the content of these channels, it is filtered out, literally. But mm the thing is that, as I said earlier, so we have a source to substitute this inconvenience of television. Well, I'm sure that you know what I'm driving at. Well, but in the first place, let's divide such thing as a TV set and the television. Well, some people watch, or well, it would be better to say use. Well, some people use their TV set to have a well um, to connect to the internet and, for example, watch some very well respected foreign channels or their representatives like the BBC, or they just want to prolong their subscription to some movie host source. And the others, well, they just switch on their television and they don't care about the things they see and the programs they see. Uh, but, well, nowadays people are becoming a lot more conscious about what they watch and the way they develop. So, um, I think it's just because of the fact that the internet has sort of taken over television. And according to the statistics of 2018, which was devoted to the so-called internet versus television, the 85% of people have chosen the internet. Well, it's a good data, I think. Because, well, I don't know, but using the internet maybe is the most modern way to educate or of educating. But what's wrong with television? Well, coming back to what I said earlier, there is too much control of state channels, of channels in general, but also the programming is very similar. Well, I don't know how it happens, but uh, the programs on channels, well, they have very similar plot, the very similar structure of the program. For example, that political shows, political debates with all the quarrels, well, they are the same, for example, in the first channel and in the second channel. And I think they're just boring, because why do you need to listen to some politicians talking about the particular problems and particular situation if you can just scroll the net? Well, you can find the news and just think about it yourself. And some other thing is that these programs are shown in the prime time, well, which is a shame, I think. Uh, well, the other thing about television that changed a lot since the invention of so-called smart TV sets, well, is the variety of channels requiring some paid subscriptions. Well, like monthly subscription or something like that. And the question is, why do we need to subscribe to these channels if, well, to these channels with some restricted number of programs, restricted time of programming, yes, timetable, I mean. If we just can surf the net and find the video or the film which we really need and which is interesting, well, except this political programs and some soap shows and silly comedies. Well, recently I read a survey or something, and it was said that the couple of shows that people really like to watch, well, they just being washed away. And to a certain extent, this may be true because I have experienced the thing like that. Well, I really liked a TV show which was called Fancy Women, and I wanted to watch it, uh, like a television program, yeah. And then I realized that the episodes, well, they're just like circularized. Well, they just repeat every episode, and there are no new series. Um, and I was not surprised when I found an application, I mean, for my phone or our smart TV, where I can find the whole season, as I can call it, of the show. Well, as you understand, it was required for some monthly payment was required, so like 300 rubles. Well, on the other hand, I think you won't be hard pressed to find more than a handful of people in Russia who really watched television. Well, because, and I'm not talking only about our grandparents. Well, because there are good channels, some sports channels, some music channels, but there are, well, most of the time they're just representatives of some foreign channels like MTV or something like that. Well, and the thing is just, what aim do you have when you're watching television? Well, in other words, you just want to relax and think of nothing. Just you want to watch some entertaining program, and it doesn't matter for you what exactly program you will watch, or you just want to study or develop or maybe to look for something new. Well, and that's all that matters.